What? Morris Day is prohibited from using the name Morris Day in the time? Let's get into it. Welcome to another episode of Jordans and Jazz. Again, I'm your host, Juan Williams. And again, for those of you new to my show, I'm a musician and I teach piano and guitar lessons. I also worked at an athletic shoe store. That's where my love of sneakers well, not just my love of sneakers, but that's really where my sneaker collection begins. So if you're a fan of music, fan of sneakers, you're definitely in the right place. Remember, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Hit the bell for any notifications. Leave a comment below about the topic today. Also follow me on Instagram at Jordans and Jazz. That's where I have my latest pickups, kicks of the day. Well, I was gonna share my latest pickup. I finally won I finally won on the sneakers app. And FedEx didn't deliver a pair of shoes, didn't deliver the shoe. So so it's like I won, but you lost. It was like, man, FedEx deboed me for my for my win. It was like I won. FedEx said, "You what?" And I said I lost. So there's that for me. Also follow me on Twitter at Jordans and Jazz. That's why I do have notifications on, my latest also, some of my kicks of the day and albums of the week, and when I am do drop a new video. So go ahead and subscribe to my Twitter. So today's episode is about Morris Day. Morris Day is not able to use the name The Time. But before I do get into the topic, I wanted to share my kicks of the day, which is the Jordan 1 light bone Gore-Tex. So that's my kicks of the day. Also, I mean, because we're on the topic of Morris Day and the Time, I got my album of the week is What Time Is It by The Time. And, definitely some classic songs on that. 777-9311. Baby, what's your phone number? How can I get a hold of you on a lonely night? So, and also The Walk, Walking's for the Cool, baby. That, some classic tracks by The Time, produced by Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. So that's my album of the week. So recently, Morris Day, again, the lead singer for The Time, or Morris Day and The Time, posted that the Prince estate has prohibited him from using the name The Time. They're not prohibiting him from using his name, Morris Day, but they are prohibiting him from using the name The Time, which is owned by the Prince estate. Now, again, things have been tricky, but Morris Day, he was. One of the questions is, should Morris Day be allowed to continue to use the name based on the verbal agreement that him and Prince had? Now, Prince even introduced Morris Day, on several occasions during performances as Morris Day and The Time. So there was a verbal agreement between Morris Day and Prince that he would continue to be able to use the name Morris Day and The Time, but the Prince estate thinks otherwise. Okay, and now this So this topic about a name, especially revolving around Prince, I think is kind of ironic. Uh, Now, the Prince estate, I don't think is that far off uh, from Prince's stance, though. Even though Prince did allow, as when Prince was alive and did allow Morris Day to use the name, the Morris Day in the time, but in 2011, the Time went and recorded a new album, and Prince did not allow them to put out that album under the name The Time. And I want to say Jimmy Jam came out and made a statement, about his conversation with Prince and how they didn't see eye to eye eye on everything. Jimmy Jam did take, the approach, to say, okay, we're not gonna use the name, and they put out this album called Condensate under the name The Original Seven. So I don't know why it is so shocking by Morris Day. I mean, I guess it is shocking because Morris Day, has been using the name, and he's been using it, while Prince was alive. Prince introduced him as Morris Day in the time, so I can understand why it's a little shocking, but it's not that far off of Prince's stance in other situations where Prince didn't allow the Time or the Original Seven to use that name when they put out their album in 2011. Now, what I think is ironic about this situation is, especially revolving around a name and who owns your name, who owns the rights to your name, is in 1993, if you remember, Prince changed his name to a symbol in protest to Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers claimed to own the name Prince for marketing of albums and tours. So and this revolves around a contract that Prince signed in 1997. So if you think about the dispute that from in 93, Prince had a dispute with Warner Brothers about a contract he signed when he was a teenager in 1997. And so that's where, so even in 2011, I thought it was ironic that Prince didn't allow the Time to put out a new album under the name The Time, because Prince owned the name and they didn't see eye to eye on it. And I guess probably my guess is what happened was that the asking price that Prince was looking for them to use the name, Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis and the other members, Morris Day, they didn't want to pay that, or they didn't want to go through litigation. Jelly Bean Johnson made a statement about he didn't have the time or funds that his pockets weren't as big as Prince's to go through that litigation, right? So Jelly Bean Johnson not so as diplomatic as Jimmy Jam, but which I can understand, and the reason why this story I think kind of means a little bit more to me is because being from Minneapolis, I grew up on this music, so I definitely wanted to cover this topic. But like I said, this dispute with Prince, him having an issue with somebody owning his name, that when the Time wants to use the name, or Morris Day wants to use Morris Day and the Time, that was a name that they came up with. And part of the reason why they used the name, or they used the Time as the original band name, was because Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis they had a band that was called Flight Time, and the but Prince wanted to use Morris Day as the lead singer. I believe the lead singer of Flight Time was Alexander O'Neal. But because Prince, of course, Morris Day was his childhood friend and they had a band together, he wanted to put Morris Day as the lead singer. They changed the name to The Time, released albums under The Time, and, of course, was in the movie Purple Rain as The Time. But now, and again, this contract, or when Prince, when they signed this contract with Prince, when Prince states that he has the rights to the name The Time, that was made back in the 1980s when these contracts were made. So should Morris Day be able to continue to use the name, use Morris Day and The Time when doing performances? My opinion, I think he should. I think, this is what I think should happen. But what the Prince estate is going to do, because they own the name, they own the rights, they kind of call the shots. So one takeaway as an artist about this situation and many other situations that that happen is you got to make sure that you're protecting your your name, you're protecting your art. So when you think about these contracts that you may be signing, just remember what you may be signing away, okay? And how at the time it may seem like a good deal, but later on, whoever has the rights to the name, who has the rights to the music, right? Because of the contract you signed. That was another thing that one of the Prince's dispute with Warner Brothers was, oh, I understand I signed this contract, but can we make it maybe a little bit more fair for the artist? Well, it's weird that this is him complaining about a contract, and now but the Prince estate, even himself has dangled contracts in front of people saying this is what you signed. So tell me what you think in the comments. Again, follow me on YouTube. Remember, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell for any notifications, and the like button. Leave a comment. Also follow me on Instagram at Jordans and Jazz, and follow me on Twitter, again, at Jordans and Jazz. And again, just remember, keep your kicks fresh and your groove tight. Peace.